rush from either of the attackers or from the defenders. But only time will tell, folks, as we are not going to waste any time at all. Agents have been picked. Once again, it's a mirror matchup from ROG Academy versus Fambra. But let's not forget that this is single elims. You make one mistake, then the chances of reaching towards the grand finals will decrease substantially. So without further ado, I will wish these both teams the best of luck, and we'll start things off with the first round. Classic pistols.
It is, of course, the first round. Pistol rounds as well, maybe a couple of light armors here or there, and most importantly, as much utility as these players can get their hands on. Buy phase, once again, extremely important for this, any starting round of Valorant, as it were. And it's also a very important round to figure out how you want to start your match. Do you want to push the long of A? Do you want to push the long of C? Do you want to push into mid-court or going into garage and into B? That is, of course, one of the things we are hoping to see between all of these players. And look at the positioning right now. It's a little bit of a split push. We've got some trying to go towards A. We've got some lining up on the entryway towards garage, actually. The doors of garage, so to speak. LaFlame already hiding in a corner right here, ready for any of the attackers from Fambra to push in unexpected, or actually not expecting the Jet to not be moving around the map. Here we go, first engagement. AAG not quite getting the shot. And Max as well, just taking pot shots at each other. There is a stun used up by the attacking breach, but oh, here comes the Jet. But the Sheriff will miss, and LaFlame, trying to pull away, is able to disengage safely. Mind you, Fambra, Sova, and Jet are now very low on health. Covers out from the Omen, the smokes are in, denying line of sight, and looks like it's going to be a push into C.
Yep, here comes one tap guard with his headshot potential. Two shots back to back, and now it's LaFlame's time to shine, and he will make sure to get those two shots back to back with the Sheriff. First round, immediate at the hands of Team ROG Academy. And let's not forget, the types of weapons that we do get to see from ROG Academy, especially the Jet. Having a Sheriff in hand means that the Jet can basically save up some great amount of economy in the second round. So expect to see a Vandal in round number 3. And of course, how can I not forget the Outlaw, which is very powerful on round number 2, since they won round number 1. And for the side of the opponents not being able to, tank, I'm pretty sure they're not going to get their heavy armor as of now. So things will not look good for Fambra unless and until they have a response on their own, and looks like they found one. Meanwhile, LaFlame, on the other hand, with the power of his Outlaw, securing one from his end.
That was a little bit of a risky alt orb absorption right there from the Sova. An attempt was made. Unfortunately, the push coming in from Fambra was a little too aggressive to secure that particular point. I think he still got it at the end at the cost of his life, but more shots are being fired in the meanwhile. Wait a minute, that's the defending Cypher from the other side. One more for LaFlame. Make that a 2 for his lap. He's trying to go for a flank here. Shots fired, but both of them are going to go down from Headshot and Ghost. Here's one tap. God from the back gets one more. Looks like it's a big flank coming in from the side of ROG Academy, as they are insistent on going around and catching these attackers from the back. But wait a minute. AG might have a answer for this here.
Last player
on the
standing.
side, but no is seen. One tap God finishes him
30
off.
seconds
and
left.
that is now gonna leave it all down to the enemy Cypher. Last person standing, stunned, and one tap God with a 3K. With the assist coming in from Breach, will manage the final kill. 2-0 in the first 2 rounds, and we're gonna have to, unfortunately, take a little bit of a timeout as someone I did see disconnected, unfortunately, folks. But of course, that won't take too long to get them back in the lobby. For now, however, mind you, this match, oh boy, it's off to a pretty interesting start, all things considered, with that massive flank coming in from ROG Academy. Baba, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, 2 rounds back to back. I can clearly see that there is quite a lot of changes in their tactics, especially the way how Jet went in with the execute. Clearly knowing that the Sova was continuously being pressured all the way from A long, Jet took that advantage to close out the gaps, close out any corners, and being able to take out players one by one clearly gave them not only just the advantage, but also the information on that spike drop. And when it comes to information for the defenders, once the spike's been dropped, the announcer will immediately give away the location, making it much more easier for the defenders to just corner in on those locations, get those kills, and eventually end up winning the round, making it 2-0 for ROG Academy. Fambra, I'm pretty sure that they have quite a lot of thinking to do at this point.
Absolutely, they do, because, you know, winning the first round is always good. Winning the first 2 rounds, even better. And ROG Academy will be feeling all good about themselves going into the third one. However, for Fambra, like you said, it is not quite the same situation. They, unfortunately, couldn't quite capitalize on a couple of the, I would say, early potential advantages coming in for them in round number 2, especially with the defending Sova going down as fast as they did, trying to get that ult orb like we mentioned earlier. Was that a good play in hindsight? Maybe, because that is of course one more ult charge with Sova, and as we all know, Hunter's Fury, it is a massive coin toss. I almost messed up that word there. It is a massive coin toss when you go for Hunter's Fury, but it could also pay massive dividends if used correctly. So at the end of the day, it will entirely depend on how these players have decided to use their ults and use their positions. But we're gonna have to transition into some, you know, instant highlights, folks, from yesterday's matches, as it were, and you know, matches before that, and just quarterfinals in general. Quarterfinals was, of course, yesterday. We had a couple matches on stream, couple matches off stream, and they were fantastic, as we got to see a lot of pretty interesting character variety as well. We went to Icebox in the match between Zenith versus Galacticos, and that was also, I would say, a very, very cool match to spectate, to commentate, as it were. Nice matches to come back to, all things considered, as, you know, me and Baba, we haven't been around the casting ring for a couple of years now, maybe a year and a half, at least for me. So it is nice to come back to some really, really nicely played, nicely coordinated matches between teams of this caliber. With that said, it looks like the players might have reconnected. Yes, indeed, and we're going to be resuming the game in just a quick second here, folks. Technical timeouts, you know, as they have to be taken every now and again, but it gives the teams time to reconvene and recompose and get themselves back in order. With that said, round 3.
Yep, round 3 continues, and the main thing that I was worried about, a Vandal, in which Caramel has at the moment, but turns out Ghost actually figures out a way to get things off with his first initial pick, and here comes one Tap God with a response. So does Caramel with a wall bang to secure a headshot to take out round immediate. You can clearly get to see that ROG has things under control. Void almost missing that shot from Caramel, but somehow Void will be there to secure that headshot, ensuring that the entire garage is under their control. But turns out they are falling back, and looks like their main focus of execute is towards the A side here, Jack.
Looks like that is the case, Baba, but of course you can see ROG Academy are quickly moving back into position, and here's Max taking the first kill. Og goes down, the Omen smoke, but Max doesn't know and gets taken down by a headshot, and now it's up to the Flame with the Sheriff in hand. One Tap God manages to get the kill from out of nowhere, and that only leaves the enemy attacking Jet as the last one standing. Void just falling back from the side entry, deciding to go on the overhang instead. Doesn't have the spike in hand either. That is on the ground somewhere in the site. Oh, that could have been a lineup and a half for Void for the clutch, but did not work out, as LaFlame said denied, and struck him down with the force of 1,000 suns. That is going to be the third round, going to ROG Academy with a very, very strong start.
Yep, a strong start, and I'm not gonna lie, the ROG's economy game is just so really good. First round, as if I recall properly, LaFlame had a Sheriff in hand, which ended up securing 2 to 3 kills. Round number 2, LaFlame had an Outlaw, and guess what happened on round number 3? Caramel had a Vandal, because Void, actually not Void, it was LaFlame who actually gifted the Sheriff to Caramel. Meanwhile, Caramel had the Vandal, eventually securing an important kill towards mid. That economy game coming in from ROG is just so good, and you can clearly see how dominating they are when it comes to those weaponry, and also especially when it's coming to those gunfights itself. But it turns out right now there has been a stale point here, Jack. It's 3-3. The man count has been equalized, and right now I can clearly see that Fambra might have an opening here.
It's definitely been a little bit more of a back and forth between these two teams in this fourth round right about now, and a couple of important picks, actually. The same picks from both sides as the Jet and the Sova for both teams has been taken care of. Omen smokes are going out, but the question is, where does Fambra push into? And it looks like they want to go through Garage, potentially towards C, maybe. Ghost is definitely in there waiting for, their friends to just kind of get in there. Teammates need to push up, and they're actually going to go deep into enemy territory right about now. The Omen is in B and kind of looking over that exact doorway, but One Tap God is actually managing 3 entry points at once. Ghost seems to kind of understand this and hasn't done much to push in just yet. The spike is being planted, and One Tap God might have an engagement in just about now and actually wins it. Ghost, despite having a potential advantage, having been there longer, still goes down. That's all down to ROG and the breach, and there goes one, there goes two, but Caramel fires back as a 1v1 between the breaches. As these players have to find the kills, and Caramel, steady as she goes, will be the one to take down Headshot, and that is, folks, going to be the clutch and the spike defuse. ROG Academy taking the 4th round, though mind you, this one got a lot closer than I think they'd be comfortable with.
Yeah, very close. It was a 3v3 at the earliest, at the earliest of the rounds, giving an opportunity for Fambra to be able to hold their ground. Because usually, let's not forget, in the previous matchup that we did get to see when they went up against Team RTN, ROG kept pressuring towards mid and garage constantly, being able to win those gunfights over and over again. This time, Fambra, you can clearly see that they have done their homework. They can clearly see that they have, they know that ROG Academy could go in with those aggressive attempts, and you can clearly see how well Fambra have been defending those certain situations. So ROG might need to rethink about going aggressive once again, and hopefully that the timeout that's been requested from none other than Fambra themselves might have to rethink their strategies just a little bit, because they have From the Shadows, they also have the Rolling Thunder from the Breach, and also a neural threat from Cypher, which means that if they get the early kill from Frambra's end, they will have instant information from Cypher's ultimate, and with those ultimate, they'll be able to make a perfect execute either of those 3 sites, get in. Their main focus is to ensure that they would head into a post run. So they have the necessary abilities, they've took the time out for it, they've made the decision. Now they just have to make sure that the execute fits.
Absolutely, and of course, ROG Academy yesterday, we did see them play a little bit of a sort of pitch and yaw type of gameplay, where they would actually pull back and play more conservatively, depending on how the last round went. And I would actually argue that that kind of play style might work better for them. Already in here, gets 1. Could that be 2? Not quite, as Ron will be the one to shut them down. That is the enemy Omen taken care of, mind you, on the attacking end. And here comes the breach, but there goes the breach as Headshot goes down, but Void immediately gets the clap back. Caramel going down. Here's the neural theft and the location reveal. The Flame has to be careful right about now, as the positions are being given away one by one. But that ultimate and the intel is now back out of the running, which means it is down to this 3v3 in the last minute of the round. And once again, we're in a bit of a stalemate here between the teams. There is an attacker sitting in the garage, and Ron will be the one to find Lavish. That's a huge opening going into C, and they are going to definitely look for the plant right about now. Recon Dart is out, and One Tap God position is given away. Tries to wallbang, but no dice on that regard. Has to reload, trying to push through garage. Meanwhile, the Owl drone might have just seen where that jet is, and there's Void finding One Tap God. But wait a minute, La Flame is not quite out of here. The dash is ready, honed and waiting. Wait a minute, they're trying to go for a little bit of a cheeky defuse right about now. Got about halfway, but Ron said, how about no? That is the 3K for the attacking Silva, and the first round for Fambra.
Yep. First round, and also great usage of the Cypher's neural theft. Understanding properly on where those locations are, and being able to execute on the site, knowing that the Cypher is still alive, which could, help in certain moments. But I believe we're going to have yet another tech pause coming in from the team's end. So folks will be taking a short break, and we'll be right.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again from that little technical pause that we had to take to the Clash of Champions of Valorant, hosted by Point Out. It is your host, Blackjack and Babagusta once again, and we are back in the semifinals match, best of one, between ROG Academy and Fambra. The current score is 4-1, and we are heading into the 6th round between these two titular teams, trying their hardest to go to the grand finals. So far, RG Academy are in the lead, as you can see, 3-round lead at that as well. They've looked somewhat comfortable. However, the last couple of rounds have gotten a lot closer as Fambra is slowly waking up and responding in kind. With that said, it is the 6th round, and we are excited to see exactly what these players are going to bring for us. Baba, can you give us a quick recap of what we've seen so far?
Well, quick recap. I'm pretty sure I'll give it in the next round because we are not going to waste any time at all, folks. Round number 6 is a go. So are the players from the side of Fambra, who is just prepped and ready with the peaks that is about to arrive all the way from C-Long. And looks like one tap guard, he'll just do his own set of business. First kill it is, and that too taking out the duelist, where Fambra will have major issues in this execute.
Oh, they will. Here come the stuns from the breach, but the smokes from the Omen are keeping that C-Long push at bay. And Fambra, unfortunately, having already lost their jet as well. That's your big initiator. But wait a minute, the flame from the back. Misses one, gets the other, and the knives are out. Cypher Stripwire did manage to get away the position for just a second, but Lavish pushes up. LaFlame goes in as well. And the entire C-Long push has completely collapsed as Ghost is the last one standing. No longer standing, so to speak. One Tap God finishes them off. And ROG Academy, after a couple rounds where they looked a little bit shaky, they decided, you know what, let's go for that big flank once again with LaFlame on the Jet Knife ult. That was a really good play, really well thought out, and of course, they are going to be able to go for the buy-in as well. All the big guns are coming out. Meanwhile, Fambra, as you can see, unfortunately, they will have to play a little bit more conservatively, and looks like they're going for a much more economically reserved round. Most of them playing pistols, for that matter. I think those are Sheriffs, one with a sawed-off shotgun, and the other with an SMG.
Yep, eco round for Fambra. It's 5-1. And this time they'll be very careful when it comes to a longer flank that LaFlame did just deliver in the previous round. So anything that they can rely on heavily is the Rolling Thunder, in which the breach hasn't been used just yet. The Blade Storm could definitely help in isolating those 1v1 gunfights to try to win those fights, get the weapon upgrade as best as they can. But it looks like Ron's location will be revealed, which means that ROG might have some insights on player's location, but it's not properly confirmed just yet. Fault line once again forces LaFlame to fall all the way back towards the side, and
No
the
charges
blades
left.
of death from Void shall extinguish LaFlame,
left.
taking out the first player, and for ROG, they're one man down.
No charges left.
That is also a pretty big kill. The Flame is a very aggressive initiator, especially when the opportunity arises. So taking out that particular Thorn is always a good idea for Fambra. And with, 4 ults in hand, one of which is active,
30
they could make a
seconds left.
massive push going into the A-bomb site, which is exactly what they're doing. It has been read into, mind you, and the shots are being fired. And here comes the Hunter's Fury. Everything is being used up to ensure this plan. But wait a minute, Max gets ogged. That is one big kill as Caramel is readying up for the stun, and it stops the spike rush. 9 seconds remaining. They gotta get it down on the ground, but they can't as Max comes in. One Tap God as well with 2 more, and the time is about to run out. The Cypher not in position to make a clutch play. What a return fire from ROG Academy. That was insanely well coordinated as they decided, all right, 1 on the overhang, 3 on the entry hallway, and One Tap God says, all right, let's get in there. We're not wasting any more time. Fambra's entire attacking strat collapsing to the utility and the positioning coming out from the side of RG Academy.
Yep. And also, let's say the teamwork from ROG is just so on point. Just by hearing the spike plant all the way from A site, Hunter's Fury was activated. And then the second, once the server decided, you know what, Hunter's Fury is done, let me just go ahead and go with yet another safe plant. What just happened? Aftershock all the way from heavens. So at this point, you can clearly see that the amount of denial that is present from ROG, even though that it was just a pistol round. And let's not forget, the only kill that we did get to see is just LaFlame. That's it. Only LaFlame.
Yep.
The rest of the players were still active. They were still alive. And unfortunately for Fambra, they couldn't get to secure at least a kill or two from their end. Why? What happened? Because that's the utility meta. Unless and until if players figure out a way to deny those metas and then proceed with the plant, it's going to be much more tougher for Fambra to hold on to those next future rounds. That is for sure.
Absolutely, and I do want to point out this particular play from Calmer right here. You can see they had the stun ready, but they waited. They didn't just immediately fire it off because they were waiting for the sound of the spike being planted. And the moment they heard the spike being planted, directly underneath the overhang, a potential safety point for Fambra, Camel decided, all right, I've got the stun, I've got it ready, and there you go. Just set out that denies the plant, gives the gives One Tap God the time to get in there and deny Ron the plant as well. This is well done all around. ROG Academy really just proving how coordinated they are and how much like the coordination and teamwork really plays into the current meta of Valorant. When I mean, we all know these operators, right? They've been here for years at this point. This map has been here for years at this point. It's gone through some changes. Obviously, every map does as a game like Valorant updates and changes over time, but a lot of those strats haven't exactly changed too much, I would say. And as we can see, it has all come down to an understanding of what the enemy team is capable of, how quickly you're able to adapt to it, and how much of that adaptation comes through with coordination of utilities and positioning. ROG Academy definitely giving us an exemplary example of that regard. Fambra, on the other hand, well, they were starting to show some signs of life, but now that we're 6-1 down on the first half, Fambra, the onus is on them, really. They've shown signs of life. They've shown that they can definitely hang with ROG Academy to a certain extent. However, I do feel like maybe in that last round, we're getting into a little bit of what-if territory here, but since we're also waiting on a tech pause, we might as well talk a little bit more about the last round that just happened, the seventh round, I should say, which was that... The multiverse, yes. But we should... I personally feel like from the side of Fambra, Ron the Sova had the Hunter's Fury, and with the call being given out that, you know, overhang might be somewhere where someone might be, or maybe even on that entry door to A, that would have been a huge area to just deny with the Hunter's Fury, just to let the plant happen, I would say. Amongst other things, right, you also had, I think their Breach had the ult ready as well, Rolling Thunder, which could have given them a potential area to play with. They played a little bit too conservatively with their ults, I think is what I'm trying to get at here, because the Omen also had their shadows ready, and we also saw the Jet from way beginning in the round, knives out and ready to play. That's the one who got LaFlame to begin with. Unfortunately, like I said, they played what I would feel is a little bit too conservatively with their ults, and they paid the price for it. Now, was that the full cause of it? Obviously not. ROG Academy showing their, well, bearing their fangs and showing their cards as well in such a well-coordinated manner. All things considered, the 6-1 is more than deserved, but right now Fambra looks like it's going to be a 4-player push all the way into C-Long. And in the meanwhile, we have the Cypher trying to go in the garage. Shots are fired, Aldrone is out, but Void is taking a lot of damage right through that smoke right about now. But Ghost sitting outside garage door could be the deciding factor here.
Oh boy, there you go. Here comes Execute. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. And of course, since it wasn't being used on the previous round, if I have to be the devil's advocate, they were just saving it exactly for this round instead. And you can clearly see the damage that has been dealt around from Fambra. Looks like it just worked like a charm. It's a 1v4 as of now, as LaFlame, the only player left at the hands of Team ROG Academy. Left in a 1v4 situation. An operator in hand, a dream for this clutch to happen. He will secure one, but not the second, which means that Void could be able to secure the operator, but no. Currently, since Void is playing on the attack, I believe it's best to have a Vandal instead, because it helps when it comes to executing the sites. But yeah, like I said, if I have to be the devil's advocate, the main reason why that they didn't get to use those ultimates is mainly because it was an eco round. They didn't want to waste the ultimate utilities on an eco round, unless and until if it was a winnable situation. Now, if I have to say, in that specific round, they were just basically playing it for post plant. Securing the spike plant gives you at least 300 credits, and playing around it, and if they lost that post plant, it would have been valuable for Fambler. But looking on the bright side, they just won their previous round just by using the Hunter's Fury. But talking about this round though, first round, Lavish securing one. Here comes the execute once again, and here comes the counter coming in from Caramel, and look at that dessert. It is sweet as... I mean, it's just pretty much sweet though. It's 6-2. ROG Academy's response is just so good. It's all up to Ron. He will find one, but not the other, because here comes Caramel with the final kill. 72. ROG Academy still in the lead.
Well, 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 what a use of the Rolling Thunder right there from the side of ROG Academy, giving themselves a massive entry into the site, just denying everything. We saw how Void, unfortunately, was tossed right into the air, unable to really do much as the entire site collapsed around them. Fambra couldn't really do a whole lot in that particular situation. And
Yeah,
once
he
again,
believed he could fly. Sorry about that. He believed he could fly. But
yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, had to. As right now, we've got more stuns coming in. The B push is here, but it's Caramel that they're trying to fight against right about now. Omen smokes go out as well. Void trying to really push in, but Caramel gets it through the smoke regardless. Void unable to do much as more and more utilities are being used up. Only one more use of the flash remaining as the flame catches Ron. Nice and headshot will go down as well. It is a unfortunate collapse right now. But what could have been a huge play for Og is denied by Lavish, and Lavish goes on to get first as well. An attempt was made to brute force their way into the B-bomb site through the big doors. Unfortunately, that will not be the case, and Fambra find themselves on the receiving end of ROG Academy's defense once again. ROG Academy really just set flint and steel and lit that entire site on fire, and now they are 8-2 up. We're approaching the half, folks, and this could potentially be a 10-2 if ROGA keep up this momentum.
Yep. I mean, even looking at the economy part as well, for Fambra, this is a do-or-die situation. If they win this round, they have high likely chances of winning the round next to it, ending the first half on an 8-4. But if they lose this, then, just like you said, Jack, things could end up in a 10-2 situation, providing a lot of advantage for ROG Academy and much more problems for Fambra in the second half. And I have to say, for Ghost, he really needs to be careful though, because LaFlame has his eyes locked all the way from C-Long. Now it's towards Garage. Here comes from the shadows, placed all the way towards the other side. Informations will be given. So he just cancels it out, falls back. He knows that there is one of the operator playing all the way towards the other side. Great flash from the breach. C is opened up.
Here's also the neural theft coming in. Positions are revealed. One tap god will go down, but Max is not deterred. Shots are fired. Unable to get one, unfortunately. Og will be the one to take the kill instead. Caramel gets one more, or gets taken down, excuse me, by Ron. Now it's all down to Lavish with the Vandal in hand. What can this lone Cypher do with the spike on the floor and a massive push into C from C-Long from the side of Fambra? It's a well-executed push, all things considered. And as soon as a little bit of that operator gets revealed, agent, I mean, Og will be the one to take down the Cypher. There's one more round taken by Fambra, a desperately needed round, as this lead from ROG Academy has just kept expanding from every single win they've been taking right about now. And, well, they have one more chance to make it in 4-8, give themselves a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of momentum going into the half, as they will be defending starting from the next round. But right now, they need to focus and avoid the 9-3.
Yep, at least on the bright side that they're back on track. Double fault lines, Caramel's response, a simple shorty to take out the information drone coming in from Sova's hand. Here comes the pressure though once again. The Flame, so true to his aim as he secures one frag. So is the other from Void. Caramel once again, great shot to take out the controller, which means no more smokes for the attackers, much more difficulty to secure the site.
And that Ultorp taken right on time for Caramel. That was the last point required by that breach to get the ult in hand. 3 versus 4. ROG Academy have the man count lead, excuse me, but Fambra could still pull themselves into a better position right about now. It all depends on where the team is looking to get into. Right now, they're really just
And
but
my ult's ready.
LaFlame is holding on to this hallway. Ghost finds Lavish in the meanwhile. Shots are fired.
Last
Ghost
player
trying to get
standing.
one more, but unfortunately those shots gave away their position, and all Caramel had to do was just follow the line of sight. And now it's all down to Ron, the last one standing. Could they get one? Maybe. The knives are out, and LaFlame with the triple kill for the round will finish it off for RG Academy. 9-3
Switching
going
sides.
into the half, and Fambra, this is the time they do really need to step up their game right about now if they want to avoid a devastating loss.
Yep. Let's not forget that this is single elims. If they lose this matchup, then that means that they are eliminated out of this tournament. And let's not forget about the prize pool though, Jack. It is 10,000 rupees, a total prize pool. So securing a grand final spot would at least gives a chance of security. I mean, you would at least secure first or second place of this tournament, Clash of Champions, of course, hosted by Point Out. But all in all, a really great matchup coming in from both sides. ROG Academy, especially with some great performance being delivered from One Tap God, LaFlame, and Caramel. But on the side of Team Fambra, of course, they've had a very rough start on the first half. Maybe in the second half, they might have some answers of their own. But let's see what's going to happen in this execute.
I guess we'll find out. That is true. Tripwires are triggered. The utilities are going out, and we are already making a big push into C. Ghost will find one. Og finds another, but Max fires back, finding Ghost. Wait a minute, One Tap God just going through all the smokes right about now, trying to get anything going. And the spike could be planted right about now. Max is doing so. It is a 3v4, but the defending Omen is really low on health. Smoke's going out. And, oh, dear me, that's a 2 for... And Lavish and Max firing in. One Tap God. The other will go down, but that's all up to the last one standing, which was... well, that was Void, who goes down. Well played by ROG Academy, all things considered. It was a bit of a hectic, chaotic kind of round, as they decided, you know what, we're not going to bother with all of the utilities and all that. We're going to bother with the, conservative first-round attack. None of that. We're going right in. And they did just that. Max with a triple kill as well at the end of the round, just to secure everything as they put themselves on double digits, folks. 10-3. They are really getting closer and closer to this victory right about now.
Yep, very close. 3 rounds away. And you can clearly see the interesting ways how Fambra is going in with this very aggressive push all the way towards mid. And knowing the information clearly, I mean, look at ROG Academy right now. They knew that the whole C side is free real estate. They can just easily go in, go for post plant, which brings Lavish in a very tough spot. Jump peaks for info. Lavish knows this. He just needs to fall back safely, but no, Lavish decides to go aggro. I'm not quite sure if this is a good idea, but look at that headshot from LAAG. Also, real great kills coming in from Ghost. That's 2 kills back to back, especially in the second half, but time's ticking. And the man count clearly favoring for Fambra. All ROG needs to do is just stay put, and looks like that mistake is going to cost quite a lot. All up to Tap God. His headshots has been supreme even on the previous matchup. Can he deliver the same fate for today? Maybe he could. He finds one. Can he find the second? Lots of shots being delivered from Caramel, and just at the right time he gets both of them. A collateral shot. It's 11-3, and once again, ROG Academy just walking out well from their end here, Jack.
Caramel literally pulling out that round from the stalemate to the victory, as unfortunately the last 2 defenders just kind of lining up right there. Ghost and Ron will be kicking themselves that they positioned themselves in that way. And now 11-3. ROG Academy really getting close right about now, as all they need is a couple more rounds and they will have secured themselves a grand final spot. Wait a minute, there's a massive push coming in, and LaFlame just about manages to evade a kill, going down first, but not for long, as Void takes 2 and Headshot takes 1 more. Suddenly, ROG Academy's push has been completely denied because Fambra decided to do another very aggressive mid-push. I will remind you, that's not the be-all, end-all of the round. The spike was not denied, as that is in the capable hands of Caramel. There is somebody on the overhang. That is Ghost playing Cypher, but if they play this right, they might be able to get the Cypher, or at least get their position. They know that someone's got to be up there. They cannot have abandoned overhang just yet. Shots are fired, and that's for Cypher out of the intel gathering position they were in just now. However, Spikes being initiated. There we go. It is on the ground. Ron taking a little bit of damage right about now. Fambra's on the defense. They need to try and get themselves these kills. Shots will be fired. And, ooh, there they go. One by one. Fantastic side retake coming in from Fambra as they will deny ROG Academy one more round. The attacking team, they tried. They really did. And Caramel and Max nearly pulled out a 2v5. But not to be, as there were no losses. Now that I look at it, there were no losses from the side of Fambra that round, which is a great sign that on the side of the defense, they are showing a lot more signs of life right now.
Yep. And especially on the early peak itself that we get to see from the Jet. Immediate dash, while there was a support from the fault line from Headshot. He's currently on the bottom of the leaderboard, but still his support has been very obsolete, being able to provide those important flashes, the fault lines to take out LaFlame, but looks like Void could be in trouble here. Fault line securing in concussing Void, which forces the Jet in a very uncomfortable situation. His location's been revealed. One Tap God knows this, so is LaFlame, and their main focus will be to take out one of the players, in which he gets away safely. And thanks to the updraft, LaFlame would be like, where did he disappear?
Yep, quite literally just getting out of left side, and Ghost, unfortunately caught between the choices of who to kill, gets taken down instead. Og in the meanwhile holding down the side, gets the collateral between Max and Caramel. Huge drop right there from the side of ROG Academy, as they were not expecting the Omen to have that exact position waiting for their entry from the side door of C. LaFlame now trying to push into the B-bomb site alongside Cypher. They might have something going here, but it's a very similar situation to the last round, 2v4, and the spike is in their hands. But they gotta get in. They gotta get these kills. Maybe one, maybe two. LaFlame
30 seconds left.
not giving away just yet. Kills one. Can't quite get the other one as the stun came in at just the right time. Headshot gets that one. And it's all down to Lavish with 9 health. There's not much they can do right about now. They're pushing in hard, but the shots are missed, and Headshot doesn't miss. Getting the 5th round for Fambra, as they are slowly but surely climbing their way back to potentially giving us an even closer game than we expected.
Yeah, it could have been a valuable kill. This way, not only just the information, it can just clearly go all the way back to B side, secure post plant, get even much more economy to fight for the next round. But yeah, it just didn't quite work out the way how, Lavish wanted it to work out on. But hey, on the bright side, they still have the lead, but for the side of Team Fambra, they are slowly reaching up to that destination. And ROG Academy really needs to be careful if they just keep gaining up that momentum over and over again. So here comes the response. Fault line, paranoia, shotgun in hand, and LaFlame trapped ready with the Bucky. Oh, the headshot has been made up, but somehow he is still alive and kicking. What is this response from Fambra? Every single player has been diminished, and it's just Caramel. A Spectre in hand, all by his lonesome. He will find one, but not the other. What a way to defend Fambra. What a way to, to get back up their lead. 11-6. Looks like Fambra's response is just looking really good, though.
Indeed. Really, really good defense right here from Fambra, as they have completely shut down ROG Academy in every way, shape, and form. This time opting for a little bit more of a sort of site corner-heavy defense, as we saw. They weren't very aggressive in trying to take out the, attacking ROG members, as they were more concerned with, conserving lives and staying as alive as possible for as long as possible. And it worked out. Once again, a slight change in their strategy, a slight change in their positioning, and ROG Academy was caught none the wiser, as they unfortunately had to face that song and dance and couldn't quite answer it with full marks. Right about now, Fambra has shown that they are kicking it up. They have fully awoken, so to speak. Their cold hands from the pre-play are now warmed up, and they are definitely boiling with adrenaline, with aggression, and of course, with their strategies full to the brim in their heads. The timeout that was called by ROG Academy after a triple round loss has ended, and we are now 11-6, mind you. The lead that was at one point 6 rounds wide, or even 7 rounds wide, I do believe. Actually, wait, no, I'm doing the maths right now. It was 8 rounds wide. That was the gulf between ROG Academy and Fambra. It was 11-3. It is now 11-6. And Fambra has definitely showed that they are more than ready, more than willing to clap back the moment it's required.
Yep. And with Fambra just slowly gaining that momentum, hopefully with this timeout being used from ROG Academy, might have some good response here. Great flash, but look at the response though. That there is 3 players all the way towards mid. Now they have the information on the rest of the other players too. This could cause dangers here from the side of Team Fambra. The flash was on point, the peak was good, but once the Jet realized that, wait a minute, that there is 3 of them pushing in towards mid, then that is not a good way for the side of Team Fambra to go out like this. They just lost their duelist, they just lost their Cypher, and maybe 2 more as LaFlame just patiently waits for the right moment, misses a lot of shot, he finds one, not the other, and now it's a 4v2 with Fambra being the one on disadvantage.
The spike has been planted. The recon darts have been put out. Ron knows a couple of positions are actually potential positions, but One Tap God decides, you know what, I don't care. Gets Ron. It's all down to headshot, the last one standing. And what can this breach really pull off right about now? Maybe not a whole lot. There comes the Tremor, trying to potentially push into sight. They know that there's one coming in from the overhang. One Tap God is right there and gets the kill as well. 12-6, and ROG Academy answer back after the timeout with a fantastic round of their own. It is match point, and folks, let's have a look at that ROG Academy roster. 3 ults already, and those 3 ults are massive. You've got the Shadows from the Omen, the Knives Out from the Jet, and of course the excuse me, the breach ult from Caramel. Caramel knows how to use their utility on that breach as well. Do not underestimate that player one bit. This could be the last round we see. It could be match point. Operator shot is fired, but Void misses. Unfortunately, misses the second one. Has to dash away, and it's a big push coming in to the site of C. One Tap God gets Void, and that's the Operator down. Huge pick right there for ROGA, and the spike is being planted.
Oh boy, this is not good. It was just Void missing 2 shots, just ended up giving up opening avenues of opportunities. And look at how ROG is responding at this point. 1 kill is here, so is the second. Here comes the neural theft. Information's been given. Ghost has the location on every 4 players currently present from ROG Academy, making it much more difficult. Here comes the Owl Drone. Will it be more than enough? Okay, Ron. Out of nowhere headshot. Ghost is respawn, looking very good, but Max is still alive and kicking. The calculations looking supreme. Caramel, the only player left for ROG Academy, very low on HP. He has the information, but the utility game still favors for Fambra. And unfortunately, time's ticking out. He has to run away. He needs to hold his ground, and looks like it's not gonna happen. Does he have enough time though? He does not! No! Boy! Oh no! Almost close enough for Fambra to not only just remove the rest of the players, it was just more than enough to secure the post-plant defuse, but looks like they didn't have enough time. And with it, folks, ROG Academy, they will be the first team to reach the grand finals of Valorant Clash of Champions hosted by Poina.
What a fantastic game played by both of these teams right here on the Clash of Champions, folks. And you can see at the ending scoreboard right there, One Tap God definitely getting away with a lot of kills right about now. 19-10 in the entire game. Well played to all of ROGA, but let's not sleep on Fambra right about now, as they have shown that, yeah, they may be a little bit, a little bit shaky here and there. They were, of course, more than happy, more than able to answer a few rounds of their own. 13-6 is not too bad on a semifinal score, all things considered. And hey, at least RGA managed to avoid the 9-3 curse. That last round could have gone either way, really, even a second either way. And Fambra could have taken that round. Unfortunately, that is not the case, folks. And our first grand finalist has been decided. ROG Academy will be back tomorrow. But before that, we have one more semifinal that we'll be getting to in just a short while, folks. Stay tuned, because Nonchalant will be taking on Zenith in a couple of minutes. We'll be right back.
Y'all sit back and watch me speak. About to take over your screen. Talking bulls in 93. Talking mom, I'm on TV. Y'all know all I do is me. All I do is me. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and all I know, my money green. About to snap and make a scene. My cup off and make this free. My cup off and make them scream. Go back off for TMZ. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Money long, nothing on credit. I got style, don't catch no feelings. All this bread ain't got no lettuce. I got style, don't catch no feelings. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. Look, look. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. I ain't with it. If it ain't got style, I ain't with it. Look, look. Look, look. Look, look. Look, look. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Watch me. Sit back. Sit back. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back.
Screen share.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the Valorant Clash of Champions, hosted here at Point Out. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Babagusta, as we are once again back for this fantastic tournament that we have been commentating over for the last few hours, I would say. It's actually started yesterday in terms of live broadcasting, of course. We've had a massive group of 64-32, now down to the quarterfinals, and then now the semifinals. One grand finalist has already been selected, of course, that is ROG Academy, that just secured an 13-6 victory over the side of Fambra, and we are now going to be going into the second match of the night. That is, of course, Zenith versus Nonchalant. And without further ado, folks, let's actually have a look at the map videos that are happening right now.
Yep, map videos itself. So let's take a look. I'm pretty sure that I'm really good at making predictions here, Jack. So I'm gonna straight up just say that we will get an ascent. All right, just straight up, just straight up. You know, people used to call me the prediction Gusta, but it was from a different game, but not in this game specifically. But hey, if it works, if it works. But turns out my prediction came to a false. So Jack, I'll give the prediction King Crown trophy to you. So let's just hope that yours would work.
I don't know if I want to take that crown, I'll be honest with you, because my predictions almost never pan out, to be perfectly honest. But we've got a couple more bans coming in. Zenith has banned Split, and Pearl has been banned from the side of Nonchalant. All things considered, I'm leaning more towards either Lotus or Icebox. We did just see Haven, which is why I don't want to particularly go back to that map. I feel like doing it twice in a row for the semifinals would be a little bit repetitive, but hey, that's just me. Now, we have Sunset being banned on the other side. That was kind of expected, to be honest. No one really likes to play Sunset from the looks of things, and we are now just 2 maps remaining. Lotus has been banned, so that's one of my predictions already out of the window. Haven and Icebox. Which one will be chosen, folks? We shall have to wait and see. It is going to be Icebox. Looks like I finally got one right in over 3.5 years of casting, folks. Whoopee! But
happy opposite
for now,
day, Jack.
It might be. Who knows? But folks, Icebox is the map that we will be going to, and we're going to pick sides in just a hot moment here. Of course, that is, of course, similar to yesterday's stream that we had as well, because yesterday we had our first match on a Haven, and now our second match on Icebox, and also similar teams, because we saw Zenith on Icebox yesterday, and we saw... Actually, I think we didn't see Nonchalant for too long yesterday, but I do believe ROG Academy were on Haven yesterday. So yes, we have a very similar overall lineup of maps and teams happening. But the question is, can Zenith keep that trend going and win their way to the grand finals? Or will it be Nonchalant who have taken up the attacking side, Zenith on the defense?
Yep. At least I could say one thing though. Christmas definitely comes early for these two teams, but only one has a spot to the grand finals. Who would it be, Nonchalant or Zenith? It is very difficult to know it, but when it comes to the team compositions, I'm pretty sure Viper is a must-have for Icebox, because she can basically create a pie chart at this point. Just slice off half the map thanks to her smokes. She'll be able to block off important lines of sight, making it easier for the attackers nor the defenders to either execute on the site or defend basically on post plant.
I like how you use the analogy of a pie chart for the Viper's pit right there. Because
Hmm.
the way she says, "Welcome to my world," I would have just stood in there,
Hmm.
like a certain actor and been like, "The Nether." But that is just me, of course. Uh, right about now, we're just waiting for the players to get ready. And as soon as they are, folks, we'll be jumping straight in
Oh my
to
god.
this matchup. And yeah, we know the movie jokes. They happen.
Yeah.
Whenever you have
You know,
the B&B casting combo, we like to make movie jokes all the time. So
you know,
as it stands, sorry, yeah, go on.
no, it's just that for a brief moment I thought you were about to say chicken jockey, but
Uh,
no.
I was saving that one.
Welcome to the BNB show, folks. But yeah, the jokes will happen from time to time, folks. But talking about the matches of now, Nonchalant versus Zenith. Best of luck to you guys. I hope I wish you the best of luck, and may the best team wins and secure the spot to the grand finals.
Absolutely. And all jokes aside, both of these teams have shown great potential in getting here to the semifinals of the Valorant Clash of Champions. And of course, only one team will be able to make it out of here with the chance of the grand finals. It is, of course, a single elimination, best of one game, which means only one map and one chance, folks. And if they blow it, well, they've blown it, and they can't exactly ender pearl their way back into the running, as it were. For now, we're just waiting on the teams to get ready. But yes, the semifinal has been fantastic. And of course, 13-6 from the earlier game between ROG Academy and Fambra. And mind you, we did mention that Fambra, they kind of woke up towards the second half when they were defending. But even on a map like Haven, when the deficit is just that big and you're facing ROG Academy, who are clearly all guns blazing, it's really hard to defend or attack against them. And after a certain amount of time, it just becomes a game of will they, won't they, as in will ROG Academy win, or will Fambra manage to get a couple of points on the board? We did see that happen, especially in the second half. Excuse me right there. I had to catch my breath for just a second. But yeah, it took a hot minute, and they were able to still, that is RJ Academy, were still able to, get a really solid win, all things considered. 7 rounds in a deficit, or actually in a lead. That's a pretty big gap between those two teams. Fambra, hopefully, whenever next we see them, they can come back even stronger, because as you know, failure is the greatest teacher there is, a certain little green gremlin once said. And yeah, in about a couple of minutes, we'll be seeing which of these two teams is going to learn the ultimate lesson of going to the grand finals or not. So, since we're, kind of just sitting here waiting for the teams to get ready and get into the lobby, Bob, I'm going to toss us back at you one more time.
Uh-huh.
Who do you think is going to win? You are still the prediction master. You still have more points over me in this regard. So, what is it's your call. I'm pretty much giving you the spotlight.
Yeah,
Throwing you under the bus.
yes. So before I answer that question, like when you said Green Goblin, do you mean Yoda?
I said, well, one, I said green gremlin, yes, and two, yeah, who else said those exact words? Come on.
I mean, I thought it was a Murloc or maybe an Orc. It's just, I mean, there's a lot of, green, like nature and stuff. But anywho, just coming back to the point at hand, I could say that, maybe Zenith could take it out, mainly because, we just did see their performance when they, if I can just take a look at the bracket itself, I believe they did go up against Team Galacticos. Their performance in Icebox was really good, almost close enough that Team Galacticos were about to steal the second half, but eventually Zenith did manage to recover the round on Icebox. So I could say that Zenith could get it, but only time will tell, Jack.
Absolutely. Only time will tell. Zenith's performance on Icebox yesterday was definitely commendable, especially their use of the utilities like Viper's Pit and the Venomous Walls. And of course, we did see quite a good use of ISO yesterday as well. Only one kill contract happened to the best of my memory, and unfortunately, that didn't quite pan out for the ISO player in that regard. So who knows? We might see one today, and that might actually pan out a little bit better to take out a particularly important player on the side of Nonchalant. We'll just have to wait and see. As for the moment, again, like we said a couple times already, we're just waiting on the players to get ready on all the technical mumbo jumbo that, we casters definitely don't have a hand in to get taken care of, as it were. And I know, people watching this are probably already going, caster started the game already. It's not up to us, folks. We are simply waiting just as much as you are. But, the good news is it's going to be a fantastic game, whether it's a long game going all the way to overtime or not. That entirely depends on the players at hand. There's a certain call out I haven't gotten to make in years at this point.
Yes.
But that depends entirely on the two teams at hand. And if you're wondering why I keep pointing this way, that's because that's where the match screen is from my end. The camera's over here and the match screen is over here. So, yeah, it's even Baba's doing the same thing. So, yeah. Just a little bit of behind the scenes tidbits about how we organize ourselves here. And who knows? But in the meanwhile, we are just waiting a little bit longer. And there we go, folks. Looks like the lobby is ready, as you can see on the big center box on the screen in front of you right now. It is Icebox. Zenith is defending. Nonchalant is attacking. And we are going to be getting right into it. And as you can see, Mighty already on that ISO. Definitely looking forward to that particular operator pick right about now. It's relatively the same team as they had yesterday between the KJ, the Jet, the Sova, and of course the Viper. But what is Nonchalant bringing in return? That's what we're here to find out.
Well, usually on when it comes to role-wise, you would always expect to see a double initiated comp, but from the side of Team Zenith, a double duelist comp, which means that double the power of execute. So maybe we could see Nonchalant go with a simple double initiated combo, perhaps. If you have a Sova, then maybe we might have a breach, perhaps. But I'm pretty sure that it will be a simple mirror matchup, as I think that it would be. But no, looks like there is a Sage being picked from Mega on the side of Team Nonchalant. So I would say, Jack, that this matchup will definitely be a chilling experience.
Yeah, that it definitely will be. Had to take a second for that. I see what you did there. But I do want to point out that Mega is definitely kind of going back and forth between the Reyna and the Sage. Looks like Reyna will be actually the one picked, and that is a pick we haven't seen in a hot minute. Reyna, of course, still considered one of the very best in the game, so I'm not entirely surprised that she is in the running, but I'm surprised at how long it took for us to see this particular operator be brought out. As, of course, we all know, on the map of Haven might not be the best for Reyna. There are other operators that kind of edge her out there, but not on Icebox, as we have the match starting up. We're in the buy phase. Round number 1 is a go, ladies and gentlemen, and this is definitely going to be a very interesting first round. We always point this out, but of course, round 1, a round to get to kind of know your opponents, get to know what the strategies are, what the enemy retaliation looks like, what your positioning is, how your movement works, and just get all the kinks ironed out. As within about 15 seconds, we are going to go straight in to the first engagements.
Yep, the first engagement from the side of Team Nonchalant's double duelist comp. And when it comes to Reyna, she is the pure definition of a Ferrari peak, especially with the help of the Devour ability that can help you secure a kill and fall back to safety. A really powerful weapon, a really powerful ability to have, especially when you're trying to engage in those 1v1 gunfights or maybe a 1v2 gunfights. But footsteps been heard, Zoid hears it, so is the walls being used up from the Viper, which means that the information will be given, but somehow Zoid just ends up getting a headshot. Almost a second, but Moga is still present to get that immediate trade-off. So is Zenith FPS playing as the Sova to ensure that the control will still be there. Meanwhile, Bumbo, all the way from the backside, the vulnerable working very well, but the shots are not working too much, though. Has to go in for the reload, which means he needs to safely fall back. Here comes Mighty at the right time, at the right moment, but Wine, Dine, Ren, both of them are still alive, but not for long. It's all up to the KJ. The Nano Swarm would try to deny the plant, but looks like it's not going to happen. Immediately gets denied from Aspire's the Sheriff to ensure that Mighty would go in for the spike defuse, and just like that, Team Zenith will secure their first round of attack on pistols.
Definitely a close round for the first round right there between both teams as they were all guns blazing between Zenith and Nonchalant, but Zenith's defense edging out the victory at the end there. And it definitely got close. The spike definitely, planted, put a bit of pressure on the side of Team Zenith, but the kills coming out in a glorious fury, definitely letting them pull it back, to
Standing
a
ahead.
round 1 win. Here we go, the recon darts are coming in, Viper walls are up, shots are going to be fired, and that's Moga with the first one taking down Bumbo. And the Viper of the defending side is down. That's a huge loss right there, as the defending Viper's walls would have been really, really useful in this particular scenario. Aspire pushing up with the marksman rifle right about now, but the venomous walls will go up once again to provide cover for that particular attacker, as Zoid is about to face a 3-person push. Almost gets the first one, not quite. Shots are fired once again, has to fall back because that is a little bit too much fire for one lone KJ to handle. All of the attackers are coming in from here. R&B gets Mighty. That's a huge first kill out there. Zoid gets one. Zoid gets two. Location reveal does not matter. They are going to get taken down as R&B was able to use the flank of the box right there, the hallway, to get that return fire. But that has put it to a 2v3 and a very possible 2v3.
Spike planted.
The spike has been planted. Zenith pushing up very aggressively right now. Is seen by the Jet, but isn't quite going to be able to do much. Recon Bolt is destroyed before it can give us too much intel. Shots are about to be fired. Zenith gets one. Shots are fired again, but just a little bit too much of a misfire there from Aspire, but there we go. Sheriff in hand, going for potentially a defuse right about now. Yes, they are. Ren has to push up aggressively. Shots are fired, can't quite make it. And the Sova will be the one to end out the round. A site retake. Had to reconfigure their positioning all the way from A to B. And thanks to Zoid being a fantastic little thorn in the side of Nonchalant, Zenith able to take out round 2.
Yeah, it's just that, both of them were very low on HP here, Jack. And if I recall properly, Bulldog was dropped down near the site. It would have been helpful for either the Jet or the Reyna to basically pick it up. But I'm pretty sure that they were a little bit afraid, knowing that there is some slight gap that connects towards the defender's spawn, where they could end up getting picked out. So they were playing it safe. They did try the level best, but in the end, high weaponry range supreme, both of them were very low on HP. But wait a minute, Ren just pushes very aggressively towards the other side, succeeds in taking out Aspire, and the inspiration from the side of Team Zenith, I would say that will be slightly decreased, knowing that they've got a one-man disadvantage.
Especially Aspire going down this early will not be helping their chances one bit, as that aggressive entry from Jet has always been one of the best ways to initiate a gunfight. That's why that role is called the Initiator. They're the ones who you want going in, getting the first kill potentially. Meanwhile, the attackers are pulling in right about now. Zenith gets one, Zenith gets two, trying to get three, but no, have to hot swap back to the gun at the wrong time. Gambo getting that second kill, for the side of Nonchalant. Mighty playing right on top of the boxes with the Sheriff. Gets one. Can they get two? Not quite. Taken down on the fallback into the ground level. The spike hasn't been planted just yet. Zoid not seeing where Gambo is. Leaves it all down to Bumbo with the Sheriff in hand. Tries to get one. Will they get the second? No. Shot right through the box by Wine 6. And that is going to be Nonchalant taking their first round on the side of attack. But still, it got dragged really, really close, and Zenith very nearly pulled off another site retake.
Yep. And let's not forget, Nonchalant's post-plant really helped damage a lot of numbers from Zenith's economy, because you did clearly see that in the previous round, everyone had sheriffs. Every single one of them. Knowing that the next round would be very difficult for Team Zenith to defend themselves with some decent weaponry, they chose to go in for an eco round. But still, Nonchalant were down with quite a lot of hefty numbers, which means that both Zenith and Nonchalant are balanced when it comes to economy. But talking about this round, it's only a matter of time, because the information's been given from the Sova could be the make it or break it moment. Sova, once again, great shot. There goes the duelist. Still needs to focus on the rest of the 4 players, and especially with the info being given from the other side. Mighty, what was that flick? It was like Wingardium Leviosa out of nowhere, but still, he is still alive and kicking. Look at that headshots. 2 is the aim from Sova. He's still alive and kicking. And from the side of Wine, The lone warrior from the side of Team Nonchalant. He has to deal with 3 angry players of Zenith, and unfortunately he won't be able to go in for the clutch. Zenith, Zenichi FPS, a quad kill coming in from this round. An amazing performance delivered from this Sova.
Zenith FPS going all in, guns a-blazing. And that is, folks, how a Sova can really turn the tides of the round, even after having used up most of their utility right there. Well played indeed. Zenith going 3-1 on the defense already with a pretty good lead. The 5th round, once again, a very important one. Looks like it's going to be an eco round from the side of Nonchalant, as their economy, after the buyout in the last round, definitely hurting quite a bit. And right now, Zenith has a huge advantage. However, of course, that advantage can be pressed and denied with the right kind of positioning and the right kind of use of utility. Here comes the Jet ult as we hear the knives coming out from the side of Nonchalant. Who will they find first? It's Mighty who finds Moga, and that's a big one. There goes the Jet even. Oh, dear me, that could have been huge, but not quite. Windine trying to go for a lurk into potentially the other side, not quite able to do so. Zenith getting that kill, and Zoid with the double, going into the B-bomb site. Once again, the moment one goes down, there's another to answer, and that's, I think, Zenith's biggest strength right about now. The fact that they always have someone to cover on their defense. There's always 2 players in a given situation. They've kind of learned that Nonchalant loves it when they're able to just push in, especially with the first 3 rounds the way they went. So they decided, okay, let's have backups for every player, and there's one player that's kind of flip-flopping between the 2 sites as the wild card of the round. I think that's what the kind of strategy they've decided to go for, and it's paid them dividends. 4-1 going into now the 6th round.
Yep. Let's not forget the op is currently being played at B long, but once the information is being given through the alt drone, I believe that they have to rotate as quick as possible. Hunter's Fury very quick from Zenichi. Might be able to tag 1 or 2 players, but immediate information is being given. Moga immediately realizes it. Really great shots coming in from the side of Team Nonchalant, forcing Zenith on a 3v5 post-plant situation. A very difficult situation. But the only question is, would they attempt to go in with this post-plant? Because it is very risky. The man-count advantage still at the hands of Team Nonchalant. You still have the Sova's Hunter's Fury to deny the post-plant defusal. So the only best way to go out with this is going for exit frags. Smokes will be used. Gambo is playing it very safe. It looks like Bumbo is just patiently waiting though. He has the high ground. I believe he also hears some noises coming in from the other side too. Aspire gets one. Ren and Windine make sure that the rest of the players won't be alive. And here comes the exit frags from Bumbo. He might get 1, he might get 2. The 3rd would be very valuable, and looks like he does. Even though Zenith might have lost this round, the Vipers' positioning and securing those 3 kills will make sure that Team Zenith would be very powerful in this round. And I just got the information from the broadcaster that the Viper also secured a 4th kill from the side of Bumbo.
Well, now that is absolutely very well played indeed from the Viper right there. Bumbo just hurting that economy a little bit more for the side of Nonchalant, making sure that this round, when they go for the buyout, they're going to be hurting if they don't win. And here we have, once again, a pretty aggressive potential fake out into A side, because they set up their utility, they set up all of that. Now they're just kind of waiting as the Viper from the attacking team and the rest of the team looks like they're trying to get into B-bomb site from the mid. Mighty might have one right now. No, doesn't quite see Windine, and that's going to be the first defender off the board right about now. Here they come through the zip lines, and Zoid pulls back. Defender Killjoy with a pretty big area of denial right about now. As the lockdown goes out, the shred grenades go on as well. And Bumbo on the flank gets one more utility off. That is the Killjoy's drone, the turret drone, taken off the board.
Yeah.
It is 4-2. Zenith still has the lead in this regard. And 2 players have gone down, 1 from each side. Attacker Killjoy is now going on to lockdown, and they're trying to set things up, and Zoid goes down. Ren with the long shot. That could potentially be the opening they need right now, but they also need to avoid the Killjoy. There we go. No one's denied, and here comes the Viper's Pit. Welcome to my world, she says. And Bumbo says, how about no? Gets wine dine in this post plant.
Yep, Empress is still active as well from Nonchalant, so it's going to be a very difficult retake coming in from the side of Zenith. Unless and until Zenichi might find up the opening in which he could keep within the site, and somehow Renz gets taken out. Zenichi, you madman! He gets 2 back-to-back, and Aspire comes out with the final kill. Would you look at that? Even with Viper's Pit, Nonchalant definitely did not expect to see this coming.
Well. Zenichi, the Sova, clearly one of the better fraggers on the side of the team Zenith. My, going right into the Viper's Pit as well. That's a dangerous move to do, especially if like the Viper is mobile and looking through all of the possible corners of that ult radius. Seems like that wasn't going to be the case for Nonchalant. They really put in all of their stocks into that push, and unfortunately, the market crashed when they didn't need it to. Right about now, Zenith 5-2, once again consolidating this lead, and here we go, once again, a Viper ult, this time from the side of Zenith. How will Nonchalant push this? Because this is just going to make things even more difficult for them.
Oh boy, it will be. Oh boy, had no idea where Moga was. There goes the Viper's Pit. The whole site is wide open and accessible for the side of Nonchalant. Going for the plant, but you forgot about Aspire. Inspire it is. But not quite sure if it's a good idea to capture it. Oh boy, very risky. He goes in with a fake plant. This could try to force the player out. Shots missed from both the sides. And looks like the KJ might have an opportunity here once again. Plays it safe. Fake plant. And once again, clutch will be delivered from Wine Dine. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, at the end of this match, I'm pretty sure he will have a really nice dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. Wine and dine, as they say, as the player says with their name. I do have to say, though, Aspire, oh dear me, I think it was probably just a case of like the nerves and the range that they were fighting with, as of course the operator has a very long scope, like a massive zoom scope. And when you're fighting at like pretty much short range right there, not exactly the best situation to be in with that gun. Could they have switched to their secondary? Maybe, but decided not to. Nonchalant playing it well, all things considered, to get their 3rd round. Meanwhile, now that we are on the 9th round, folks, here we have a Hunter's Fury coming in from the attacking Sova. 2 bolts fired, 3rd bolt fire, and that's a really good switch up to get 2 players less than half HP as the defending Killjoy goes down. There goes Bumbo as well. Didn't have the health for that gunfight. RMB with the knives now ready. The plant is being done and put on the ground. Mighty gets put on the ground as well. 6 feet under. Aspire, unsure of anyone's position, gets taken down by Wine Dine. Zenichi, the last one standing with a sniper in hand. Gets 1, gets 2. Oh my goodness, that was huge right there, but not huge enough. Nonchalant, 4 and 5. They are now so much closer to equalizing the scoreboard.
Yep, very close, and you can clearly see the massive effect that we do get to see from the economic standpoint. This round, it was none other than Zenith who had a lot of problems in their economy. So basically they were forced with classics, they were forced with marshals, most of it were forced with sheriffs, and that's the main reason why you get to see a timeout being requested from the side of Team Zenith. And let's not forget, the Hunter's Fury from the side of Nonchalant, I'm pretty sure Bumbo was like, wait a minute, how did he know? Well, basically he was having a gunfight with the Jet all the way from B long, so that information was more than enough for Sova to exactly pinpoint using the powers of arithmetics, algebra, and geometry, the most subjects that have failed most of the time. But hey, if it works in game, I'm pretty sure that it will definitely work for the Sova mains out there, and it definitely did give a win for the side of Team Zenith to secure the lead that they need.
I am quite interested in where you pulled the arithmetics, geometry, and algebra out of, because, I would say it's more of a case of just, knowing where to go, map knowledge combined with team knowledge, coordination, and a little bit of just a good old-fashioned go in there, shoot like it's a point-and-click adventure game. Right now, of course, coming back in after the timer that was called by Team Zenith, they are looking to reconvene, and they have done so. They had their minute. Now they need to see how much that gets them. Recon bolt will not be shot out just yet, as Aspire really wants a couple of shots right now. Needs to watch that upper bolt area. Oh dear me, dashes right in. That was not the best move right there. RMB takes one down, but Zenith takes Moga down on the other side. Windine with one more. And mind you, from the side of Nonchalant, that was the Reyna taken off the board. On the other side for Zenith, their ISO was the one undone, unfortunately. Now the attacker Killjoy is putting the lockdown in place, and Zenichi will decide to just flee the zone. Let them have it for now. They're going to have to play for side retake. Shots are going to be fired right now. Here comes a little bit of a snake bite, and shots are going to be fired. But Bumbo misses. RMB does not. Here comes the Hunter's Fury, but Zenichi, excuse me, is the last one standing for Zenith right about now. What will they be able to pull off? That entirely depends on how this Vandal is going to get them, through in this particular round, in this particular post plant. It is a 1v3. It is still very much possible. They find the KJ. That's one. They're going to bait out potentially with the defuse right there. They don't have the time to go for it in full. Shots are fired, and Ren from the other side will be the one to take down the Sova. Attackers win, and that is going to be Nonchalant equalizing at 5-5.
Yep, I could say that OT could be in effect here, Jack, especially in the first half itself. Amazing performances being delivered from both the sides. I would say, though, in the previous round, Zenichi could have used the Hunter's Fury, especially when they were going in for the plant. I believe the timing didn't quite work out well from his end. It could have given much more time and opportunity for Zenith to try to deny the plant, but I believe that they were going for post-plant at the moment, but it didn't work out either. All in all, once again, broken by for Zenith, which means that Guardians and Sheriffs will be the weapon of choice, which means that they have to forcefully make close-range combat. So Aspire will be prepped and ready for it. Dash's timer goes away, which means he has to fall back. The Guardian's not working out well from the side of Zenichi, which means that the whole site of A will be at the hands of Nonchalant once again. Post-plant, Zenith. I'm pretty sure that this will be Nonchalant's match, Jack.
One enemy
It might actually be, as Nonchalant is really just piling on the pressure. Look at that. They can't even do, Zenith that is, can't really do a whole lot against them. Nonchalant really just waking up and taking things by storm and putting themselves in the lead, 6-5. Windine really has just popped off after the first couple rounds right about now, and everyone else firing in all fronts as well. Ren and RMB have really picked up the pace. So has Gambo, so has Moga. Everyone is just doing so well indeed. The coordination of utilities, of pushes, and of course the fact that they've just kind of been able to brute force their way into the A bomb site for the last few rounds, back to back. So now the question is for Zenith, how do they respond? They've taken their first timeout, and they have one more, of course, but they don't want to use it up right about here, because if they do, then, well, of course, it would have been, unfortunately, a bit of a waste. Aspire with the dash ready. Can't really do much right now. No one's engaging as they're just going up the ramp into the upper section, or the first floor of the map, so to speak. RMB is peeking down the hallway, and Aspire will be peeking here in just a second. Misses the shots, both of them. And Aspire says, you know what, I don't quite want to take this right now. Falls back, trying to re-peek as well now. But the angle might not be in their favor. There you go. Beautiful shot for the first kill of the round.
Yeah, and also not a good idea for Aspire to be peeking it again for the third time, but also, at least on the bright side, Bumbo will secure taking out the important controller, which could have been very helpful for Nonchalant to go in with those executes. So right now they just have to rely without the help of Viper. So here comes the info drone. Zoid's got to be really careful though, as the players are slowly arriving right at their crosses. A really great headshot coming in from RM. Looks like kill contract will secure one. In a 1v4 situation, make that 1v3 as he will secure the fight. But time is ticking though for Zenith. If they have to secure this round, they need to win this post plan. But turns out Sova is all the way from the backside, prepped and ready, which means that this post plant would be very difficult for Zenith to win this one out. Mighty finds a lot of information, but not a lot of kills being secured from his end. So he's basically stuck in a rock and a hard place, and an ace will be delivered from none other than Jet himself, ending the first half on a 5-7. Nonchalant, they're the ones in the lead.
And the lead just grows bigger and bigger with each round, folks. As right about now, Zenith is probably going to start panicking just a little bit. Well, maybe not panicking, but definitely kind of just their hearts are racing, their minds are kind of all over the place, trying to figure out what exactly went wrong. Because mind you, they were 5-2 up, and now they have lost 4 rounds, or actually 5 rounds in a row. Had to do the math real quick. As, 7-5 right about now. They're not exactly looking too good. Zenith, as, unfortunately, they've also lost the first half, so to speak. They are now going to be attacking. We are now in the second half, folks. What is going to be the response from Zenith on the attack? Well, it's going to be Aspire to get the first one. They are really aggressive right about now. They really want to get into B, but Moga with the first one. Huge kill right there. There's Wine and Dine. Second one, that's a Spike carry kill, but Mighty fires back. That's a retake, and Mighty's just going in, shield in play, allowing for Zenith to kind of push up aggressively, get the spike on the ground. Shock dart goes up, but that will not do a whole lot. Zoid with a beautiful shot onto Ren, leaving Gambo, the last one standing, playing long from deep within the B bomb site. It's just outside it, actually. But there's the Viper walls, and there's everything that, Zenith needs to kind of just deny this entry for Nonchalant. Here we go. The Viper walls are up, and Gambo doesn't really have a whole lot to do here. All the best they can do is take a couple of kills, hurt the economy just a little bit. But the plant going down also makes it so that their own economy is not going to be doing too well. 1 kill is confirmed. Tags up the other one. The bomb's going to go off anyway, so might as well take the gunfights. Gunfights are taken, and 3, 2, 1. Does it go off? It does. It actually manages to find Mighty right at the end there. But still, great round from Zenith. They decided enough is enough. Let's go aggro. Let's go in. Let's get into the site and clear it out. And they did just that. 6-7. Nonchalant still in the lead.
Yep. Pistol rounds, an important round from the side of Nonchalant to get their economy up and running. Which gives ample amount of weaponries available, but yeah, it will give a lot of opportunities for. I believe it was Zenith who won the round. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, but yeah, with Zenith being able to win the pistol round, they'll be able to get some really good upgrades from their end, and you can clearly see that they have bulldogs from their end, which means that they want to make sure that they would win this round as best as possible, because if they do lose this, it will be a lot of problems for them, as they'll be forced to make around for the next 2 rounds, which could cause a lot of problems from the side of Team Zenith. But only time will tell. They're playing it safe. They haven't executed the site just yet, and you can see that there's a 4 stack coming in from the side of Team Nonchalant, so they knew exactly where the players' positionings are. Now they just have to wait and see what the response would be.
It is all a matter of time right now, as Mighty has got the shield up, pushing in aggressively. Shots are fired from the Bulldog, but no dice on that regard. They see where the others are, but R&B just says, how about no? But there's the fire back as Aspire takes 1, and here comes Aspire with the 3rd kill, leaving only Moga, the final one standing. Jump peek gives away the position of the Reyna. But it's a 1v4 in a post plant. How much can Nonchalant really do here? How much can the Reyna do? Not a whole lot. Zoid gets the kill, and that is going to be the attacker's victory. Zenith firing back with 2 back-to-back rounds of their own, making it a 7-7, equalizing the scoreboard.
Yep, 7-7 in the second half. And right now, it is none other than Zenith who has the advantage here from their end. Aspire with the Vandal, 3 Bulldogs, and 1 Sheriff coming in from the side of Mighty. So, when it comes to the weaponry, you can clearly see that Zenith might have a chance to secure yet another round win on attack, unless and until Team Nonchalant have some response coming in from their end. An aggressive attempts coming in from the Sova immediately gets caught out from the information drone being tossed out from the Sova. So, looks like Nonchalant Sova has no other choice but to fall back and play it as safe as possible. He needs to make sure that he doesn't lose man count, because if he does, then the chances of Zenith winning this round will be highly influential.
They will be, as Aspire gets the first one, but gets immediately taken back down by Moga. Huge kill right there. And of course, we all know what the Empress is capable of. That is to say, what Reyna is capable of. Standing right there, right next to the venomous walls of the Viper. Ren in the meanwhile, is holding down on the B-bomb site for a potential retake, or repositioning, I should say, from the side of Zenith, who look like they might want to go into the B side right about now. Venom walls have been set up since the early round as well. And now it's all a case of using it to get the cover you need to get yourselves in the right position. Shots are going to be fired. That's the shield from Mighty taken care of, but not quite. That orb was just in the wrong position, but R&B gets one. That Zoid going down. And the KJ, Windine that is. The Swamp just try and deny. Bumbo from the back will take down Moga. That's a huge drop right now, and they're trying to get the spike on the ground as soon as possible. Shots are fired, but not going to be enough to deny the plant. 7 and 7, and the walls go right up as it is all time for Zenith to defend this bomb. The tides have been turned, and Nonchalant need to now retake the site, trying to go for a potential defuse, but not going to be able to. Here comes R&B to go down. It's all up to Windine. Gets one, gets two. What a flick. It's all now up to the last player. Position given away by that alarm bot. Could they get the headshot? Ooh, not quite. Bumbo manages to just shoot through the container to get the final kill. Almost retaken by just one player. Wine and Dine really just playing out of their minds right now, but not quite able to win the round for the team. It got so close. It really was just a matter of back and forth. They didn't have the bullets. They only had 2 bullets remaining in that final engagement, but still very nearly pulled it out for the team.
Yep, it was almost Panic at the Disco for the side of Zenith as they lost 2 players back-to-back from Windine. But at least a recovery will be made. And once again, Gambo playing a very risky maneuver here, but Aspire almost catching one of the controllers out, but somehow still manages to survive, and Ren will end up securing a headshot, a second headshot, a third! Sheriff shots coming in from Nonchalant. The Sheriff's headshots are just going bonkers right now. It's a 3v2 situation. Let's not forget, this is a thrifty round coming in from Nonchalant. And if they win this 2v3, then for the side of Zenith, this could cause a lot of problems for them.
That it could. The Viper's already low on health as well. So just trying to conserve what little HP remains. Toxin screen has been put back up to potentially make them think that they're going towards B, but the bait will not be taken just yet. Actually, it might be, because we can see on the map on the top left there, folks, a lot of the team of Nonchalant are repositioning into the B-bomb side. The only one left close to A is the Sova, and the Sova's gonna have to give the call out right about now. Gambo has to be the one to be ready to take down these encroaching attackers. Zoid is already in position just under the rafters. So is Bumbo. That is a bait with the plant. They're not gonna go for it just yet. R&B is on 5 health. They could go down in a second right now. Owl drone goes out. We'll give away the position of 1. Shots are fired. R&B still getting that shot with the Sheriff. It's huge right about now. On kill for Zoid, but not the second. The spike will be defused, and Nonchalant equalize 8-8.
My ult is ready.
Oh man, now that's what I like to call RM baby a triple. Thrifty round coming in from the side of Team Nonchalant, equalizing it to an 8-8 score line. And I have to say, this was a very unexpected turn coming in from the side of Team Nonchalant. So it was Sheriffs at this point. Early rounds, 3 Sheriff headshots back-to-back coming in from Moga, Ren, and RMB. It was just a sight to behold. And for Zenith, they will definitely feel a lot of pressure coming in from their end. Once they knew that they had the advantage in the second half, securing 3 rounds back-to-back, well, looks like Nonchalant, they have definitely gave a response of their own. Being able to secure an important thrifty round will definitely give them a huge morale boost and also some good weaponry. Let's not forget, Hunter's Fury, Bladestorm, and also an Empress will be available from the side of Team Nonchalant, so they will have ample amount of responses. They will have ample amount of counters, which will make it much more difficult for Team Zenith to go in with this.
It's you and me.
There's a lot of stuff going on, but wait a minute. Looks like the kill contract has been used up, but no, Ren will be the one to win it. Mighty, unfortunately, was not able to capitalize on the kill contract, and that's a huge attacker loss. On the other side, the Jet is losing a lot of health. Ren does go down, but Bumbo is taken back as well very quickly. Wind down, trying to really push in, trying to deny stuff. As the Hunter Spirit comes out, Logo with 2 in the meanwhile. It is all falling apart for Team Zenith on the attack right now. And Nonchalant, well, they nonchalantly end up winning by a 4-player advantage, all starting from an unfortunate, unfortunate drop on the kill contract.
Nice one, Jack. Nice one. Oh man, I have to say, Nonchalant, what a way to give a response though. Not only winning a thrifty round, but also to the round next to it, making Zenith's attack even much more tougher. Forced for an eco round. I wouldn't say forced for an eco round. I do get to see Zenith going in for a Guardian and a Bucky coming in from Bumbo, which means that an early Viper Spit could be in effect. The only question is, which side would Zenith go to? Would it be on A or B? I mean, looking at the location-wise, I can clearly see that there's a lot of presence being shown towards the B side. You even have the Viper's Wall being present from that specific spot. So I believe Nonchalant will try to, change their positionings accordingly. And looks like they will go in for a full-on B execute coming in from their end. So their main focus has to be post-plant. And here comes the Viper Spit. What is your response now, Nonchalant? Will Team Nonchalant get another lead in which it could cause a lot of backlash from the side of Zenith? Or would we see Zenith fling back and make a round of their own?
It is, of course, a post-plant, so Nonchalant have to retake the side right about now. Unfortunately for them, it wasn't quite the way they would have wanted to start the round, but Mighty with 2 Sheriff kills back-to-back. And a suppression on RMB. That's the 3rd for Mighty. Could they run for the Ace? They very well could. Ren denies Bumbo as well. That's going to be the Viper going down, but Ren goes down to Zenith on the other side. It's all up to Wine Dine. Will they be able to wine and dine on these kills? Well, there's 1. Will there be 2? Not quite. It's getting closer and closer to the detonation time of the spike. And Zenichi is really just trying to get this final player off in hand now. But, yep, that's unfortunately going to be a detonation, taking out 2 of the attacking team as they do. But Zenith managing to equalize once again, making it a 9-9. It is a very, very close round right about now, as the technical timeout, has been called due to some, technical difficulties, as they say. But folks, this is definitely quite the match. Call it a crafting table, because they are definitely crafting us up quite the viewing experience right here.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that they're crafting not only just an amazing experience, they might end up crafting up a really good bucket of lava.
An attempt was made, I think.
Yes, an attempt was made, and I failed successfully. Either ways, folks, jokes aside, Team Zenith, a really good display of, their defensive holds. But yeah, all in all, you can clearly see the huge, the huge changes, the huge rift tides that's been happening in the second half, with Zenith making a thrifty of their own. So is Nonchalant making their few responses of their own as well. But it always comes down to the way how they go in, right? I mean, first half, there wasn't a lot of thrifty rounds to begin with. It actually started in the second half. That pistol rounds, that headshots that they do get to see from the side of Team Nonchalant, 3 headshots back-to-back in the early rounds, was really where Nonchalant decided to break that 3-round win streak in the second half. They tried to get back up. Eventually they did, equalizing it to a 9-9, and then suddenly Zenith made a response of their own. The Viper's Pit was working out to full perfection. The post plant was working out as well, but when it comes to that post plant, it was Zenith who still ended up holding strong. And I would say for Wine Dine, almost an opportunity to go in for that 1v3 clutch once again. But yeah, well, it looks like both these teams are still equalized. It's 9-9. But to be honest, Jack, only one will have a spot into the grand finals. Only one who will go up against Team ROG Academy. Who will it be? Let's find out.
Let us find out indeed. Here is the Viper Spit once again, and mind you, that is an ISO who has been taken down from the side of Zenith. So not exactly the best situation for Zenith to be in on the side of the attack. Shots are fired already, but will be missed. As unfortunately that Viper's hitting him now a massive amount of area. Shots are fired from Moga. That's gonna be the Rain taking one more huge kill. But wait a minute! Zoid was just kind of standing there. Gets the clap back. And trying to get another one. Unfortunately unable to do so. It is a 3v4. Zenith kind of has to reposition right about now. But Nonchalant is holding the mid section as well. Doing everything they can to really just deny the area for the side of the attack. And there goes Bumbo, Wine and Dine, taking a huge kill right about now. Nonchalant pushing themselves further and further to take their 10th round. And what could be a
30 seconds
19th round victory for them. The recon dart, shots are fired. Zenichi will know the position of the jet. More shots are fired through the smoke of the jet. Viper wall goes up. Zenichi still finds Gumbo. In the meanwhile, Gambo. Now the two will push in. Shots are fired. The jet goes down. Will they get the last one? Yes, they do. Well, not the last one. Excuse me. The Viper is still alive. However, the plan is going off. No, it's denied. Ren using the entry raftway. Getting a huge kill right now. And Mighty Zoid is only less than half, slightly. Shots are fired, and Ren is still somehow on full health. This is not the best situation to be in for this Killjoy. And the Viper's bite goes out. What? But no, Zoid still gets the kill. Beautifully repositioned at the last second. Finds the Viper, takes the headshot, and clutches it out for the team. What we thought was going to be Nonchalant going 10-9 up is actually Team Zenith pushing up to their 10th round, going double digits.
That Snakebite should have got the kill. What just happened? Zoid! He was one shot away. He was 6 HP. And even with the Snakebite of the Viper not being able to secure that kill, man, what a close round. And that one headshot definitely sealed the deal for Zenith to secure that double digit. Wait a minute, RMB, a very risky maneuver, forcing them all the way towards the backside, and Mega was trying to secure a kill from the high ground, but turns out it will be Aspire who will get up and securing another one. Mighty, what a read. Another kill from Bumbo, but what a shot though from Windine. Oh man, every single action happening in just 20 seconds, and I mean, at the spoils of war, it's a 2v4 post-plant. Nonchalant, what is your response? Because clearly, they don't have enough amount of manpower left, so they can only rely on their trusty sheriffs, and looks like Windine. My goodness, his shots are just... He is just popping off left, right, and center. Oh my god, look at that positionings from Ren. He finds one. Nonchalant, they could make a clutch of the century right here. The weapon upgrade just found, but time is ticking. They need to play it as patiently as possible. Combo, he makes sure that that clutch will not happen, but there is still a slight hiccup amount of chance, but it will be denied immediately from Zenichi. My god, Nonchalant almost stealing the round once again with a thrifty. But it will be none other than Zenith who will end up recovering that round. That was a dicey round there, Jack.
That really was a close round. Definitely worth an instant replay, I would say. But for now, let's just move on to the next one, folks. After all, my goodness, that positioning, everything's just kind of popping off for Zenith right there on the attack. Nonchalant kind of falling by the wayside, the way they just gave up picks, especially not using their positioning to the best of their advantage. And just kind of falling away one by one, getting picked off. And that's where Nonchalant really just shined, right? Picking them off one by one
no
right
distraction.
now. Mighty. There we go. That's the kill contract. Oh, dear me. He lost this one the last time, and he loses it again, Windine. He's just not going to let him get these kill contracts. Bumbo finds Moga on the other side. Attacker Killjoy lockdown will be in effect. Will it detain anybody? No, it will not. Zoid actually has pushed all the way around. Looks like they're going to the A-bomb site instead, but you can see the defending Viper is actually making a reposition on the same direction as well. They know for a fact that this could be a fake out, and it definitely is. Shots are fired. Gambo in the right position finds Aspire, and that's a huge kill as well. Spike is on the floor. 3v4. It's Ren right outside the rafters right about now. Needs to find one. Here comes the big one. Hunter's Fury. Zoid finds Windine in the middle. That's a huge kill. Zoid with 2. Zoid with 3. Ren takes down Zoid on the other side, and the defuse is going off. But the location is revealed. Well done by Zenichi using the recon dart to give away the position of the Viper. That got so close once again, but Zoid, look at this triple kill just going all out from the rafter side. Denied by Ren, only to get denied by Zenith. 12-9, it's match point, folks. And if Nonchalant want to have a chance of going to grand finals, they need to push this round, the next round, and the next one for overtime. Otherwise, Zenith, all they need to do is win one more.
Placing alarm bomb.
Yep. Only one round remains for Team Zenith to secure the grand final spot of Clash of Champions for Valorant. Just one round left. I can clearly see that the pressure is quite a lot because Nonchalant, they've been given they are definitely giving a fight of their own. Both the owl drones giving some vital information, and Moga's location is still concealed. Or does he know the information of the player? No, he does not, but somehow gets away with the kill. Mighty! Oh, I just feel bad for him. He's not only just losing the contract kills with his Phantom, but also he's just losing an important gunfight, and that too up against Arena, who was very low on HP this time. But at least on the bright side, clearly see that Team Nonchalant, they still have some great controls from their end. A lot of damage has been dealt around from the opposing side, but RMB just gonna hold his ground as best as he could. Information's being given from the Alarma bot, from the KJ, just making sure that he would give a lot of distractions as they could, because the main focus from Zenith is not from B, but towards the A side. No, actually not. They're actually bulldozing with their way all the way towards B with the help of Ren. But they're losing a lot of time here, and Ren finds one, Bumbo gets the other. A quick trade, but they're losing a lot of time once again. Zenith needs to make their play, and that panic is definitely going to cost them a lot. 2v4, Nonchalant. Looks like they're also losing a lot as well. What is happening? Aspire and Zozo. Oh, Moga just takes out Aspire. The information has been given. It's a 2v1. Not a lot of time left. They can't recover the diffuser at this point. So Zoid has to sprint his way all the way towards the other side. They just have to play for time, and Nonchalant will do exactly that. 12-10. Nonchalant, they're still in the game.
That, unfortunately, was a little bit of a misstep right there from the side of Zenith. Right at the end there, Aspire, despite pulling it back to a 2v2 alongside Zoid, pushing out that smoke right there. I feel like the best idea would have been to just wait for a second, let the shots be fired before going in, or at least let the smoke bubble form in full, because they didn't give it that time. They just kind of rushed in. I knew they needed to. Time was running out, but at the same time, a little bit of caution would have given them the idea that, hey, this is where the last two defenders are. We can take them out, potentially. But now they have to go for a little bit of a broken buy right now, as RMB with a huge first kill. That's Zoid to fall. That was a through shot as well, and here's Moga from the other side. That's a huge one, and that's the Empress activate. Well, not activated, but ready to activate as well. Ren finds Zenith and Zenith. It is all falling apart. They have match point, but the pressure of having it is getting to them, as this could now potentially be an 11-12 situation. Aspire and Mighty are the only ones remaining, and Windine kind of has the position, but goes down. Mighty finally getting that kill, but nope, it's a double push from the other side, out of A door, and that's gonna be 12-11. Nonchalant, one round to push to overtime, one round for Zenith to win the match outright. Folks, this is getting mighty dicey right about now, as we move to the 24th round.
Yep. Only one round to determine the fate of Zenith. Whether if they could secure this one round win and just have a direct spot to the grand finals, or maybe Nonchalant will make a response of their own. Bladestorm immediately activates, instant takeout from RMB, and this time taking out Bumbo. That's a very good early peek coming in from the side of Team Nonchalant, which makes Zenith's execute even much more deadly, because a lot of line of sights would have been really helpful to be blocked out thanks to Viper's wall. And now with that not being active, they have to heavily rely on the lockdown that Zoid has. But best be prepared and ready, because once the players from Zenith makes their push, all hell breaks loose.
That it absolutely does. As in the meanwhile, Mighty's gonna go for the plant. Here comes the bite. Here comes the hunter. and it is all just falling apart. Mighty going down. That is, of course, also
Placing swarm
the
grenade.
spike on the floor. Swarm grenade right where the spike was taken, and it's all just kind of falling apart for Zenith right now. They need a kill. They need to get something, anything that will give them an advantage right now. But as Zoid peaks, shots are fired. That is the position of the KJ given away. They need to make sure to peek long. They need to make sure to peek short. Ren finds Enichi, and it's all just gonna fall apart, folks. It is Nonchalant to take the 24th round,
Switching
equalizing the score.
Overtime.
And I think you know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rumble? Overtime is here.
Oh boy. OT is here. Feels like 84 years since I've heard that. Amazing word, man. But yeah, here we go, folks. Overtime is present. Nonchalant. An amazing performance from them as they will make sure to bring overtime on map Icebox in the semi-finals of Clash of Champions. And I have to say that this will be a do-or-die moment for both these teams, both of them fighting for the spot at the grand finals. And I would say for Nonchalant, they're the ones on attack, so it will be a best of ones, though, round of ones back-to-back, so it will be a lot of pressure coming in from both the sides. And you can clearly see with the information being given, they know that the players are making their way in towards B, but currently they're just going to play for picks. They don't want to give away the positions just yet. Some fake out informations might be given to see whether if they can catch a player or two in the process.
And that's going to be Bumbo to take the first one. RMB is going to go down. Huge kill as well as we have the poison walls and everything pushing in. Zoid will get Moga on the other side. Shock Dart does do a bit of damage to Bumbo, but not quite. Mighty is just taking kill after kill right now. Gambo and Windine going down. Ren position given away. Low on toxins. Manages to find Mighty still at 70 health. This is going to be really dicey, but gets the other Viper. This is now a 1v3 down from a 1v5. Ren could... Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the Valorant Clash of Champions hosted here at Point Out. We did have a very unfortunate technical difficulty which kind of forced us off the stream, but we are back. Do not worry, the overtime rounds have not been played in full. The round that was active obviously got finished, and we can see Zenith has taken the first lead in overtime. We are right back into it, of course. Round number 26. As now, Zenith is on the attack, Nonchalant is on the defense, as is the rules of overtime. They will flip between sides as the rounds progress. Can Nonchalant equalize it, force another overtime, or will Zenith be the ones to pull away into the victory? We've been in this position before. It's a round of ones, technically speaking, but the question is, which side will take that 1 point?
Yep. And let's not forget, Zenith is currently the team who are reaching at match point. Let's not forget, this is OT match point for them, and not a single player has been downed out for now. Post round is present. Zenith once again having some minor difficulties as Mighty takes quite a lot of damage, but he will be safe as he will fall back. Looks like Jet is going to go all the way towards the other side, thinking of not going in for a flank, and this might cause a lot of good things coming in from the side of Team Nonchalant. 3 kills back to back, but still Zenith are still alive and kicking. 2v3. Zoid, they're playing it as safe as possible. Let's not forget, Viper still has the snake bite. All he has to do is just line it up properly, and once that happened, it could. But looks like Bumbo's gone. Zoid is present, but it's too late. Windine is still here for the denial, and so is the time required to go in for the defuse. Looks like they have time for it. Yes, they do. It's 30 to 13, which means OT number 2 is now in effect.
The second overtime is now in effect, folks. And we are just going to keep going and going and going until one side emerges victorious. This could be a huge round right about now. As Zenith pushes into the defense, of course, Nonchalant will be on the offense. Both sides going for a pretty big buyout right about now, deciding we got to go win, we got to win. We cannot leave anything, not a single thing, to chance. The only agent, not without heavy armor, without heavy armor, is going to be Aspire playing the Jet with the operator in hand, but they're gonna go down first. Ren gets the headshot, and that's a huge first kill to start off the round. Minute 30 on the clock. The Reyna manages to duck away in time from Zenith. Location's given away. Blinds out. Ren gets 2, but Zenith manages to find R&B in the meanwhile. It is a 4v3, and here comes the Viper's Pit, the Nether Realm, as he made the joke earlier. Bumbo now coming in from the side door, trying to get one, unable to do so. Gambo sitting inside the Viper's Pit, trying to do something about this. Mighty and Bumbo, they have to find a kill. They have to find a body. 1, maybe 2. They need to start the fall in, but it's going to be Bumbo to go down. Gambo with that kill. Mighty gets 1, doesn't get the second. You can't quite win that gunfight. Not against Windine, not today. 14 and 13, Nonchalant taking the overtime match point.
Yep, looks like it's Nonchalant's turn. And would you look at that? They're the ones on defense, so they have a higher chances of securing this round out and basically have secured a fighting chance to the grand finals. But let's not forget about Zenith from the side of Team Zenith, though they're not going to give up that easily just yet. The difference is what would be their thinking? Like, would they go in for an immediate execute towards A? I mean, sure, looks like it. Instant info from Gambo, so is the shield. That will be popped out quite early from ISO, so this will be an all-out war coming in towards the A side, and looks like the huge push that was about to be made from Nonchalant immediately falls back all the way towards A, which means that they will be heavily relying on post-plant here, Jack.
It's going to have to be a post-plant retake. That is exactly correct, Baba. As the walls have gone up, the utilities have been used, and now it's all up to Nonchalant. Can they secure the round? Can they do the side retake? The last time they tried it, it went surprisingly well, all things considered. Here comes the flash, but no, Zenith and Mighty fire back immediately, taking 2 kills. Can they get the third? Yes, they do. And suddenly Nonchalant is in a really bad position. R&B gets 1, but Aspire fires back, and there goes Windine onto the floor. It is a 14 and 14. We are back once again to overtime neutral, folks, as the rounds have been equalized once again.
Yep, OT number 3 is in effect once again. I mean, at the first it was Zenith's match point, second it was Nonchalant, and now it's just rinse and repeat unless one of them makes a mistake, either from the side of Zenith or from the side of Team Nonchalant. Only time will tell, but looks like Nonchalant once again. A execute, it is instant, walls being used around towards A. Maybe they might use it for distraction, or maybe they could use it for other ways. But for Zenith, they just have to hold themselves strong. Info's being given from the Sova's dart. Won't be able to find one, but looks like the owl drone will. Oh boy, surprise, smile for the camera, and now they've been detected. Basically, they are just going to rush all towards A side, and RMB just gets caught from a huge amount of caps that's already been laid around towards the A side. Collateral damage. Zenichi gets 2, and now it's a 2v2 standpoint here, Jack.
That's a massive double collat from Zenichi, but here comes the Viper's Pit, needing to use it to give themselves a little bit of position, just to kind of anchor themselves in the site. That is huge use by Ren. Doesn't quite know that Bumbo's there. They have the idea that someone might be up there on the corner of the rafter, but not able to get a kill out of it. Mighty actually using the zip line to get away from any aggressive peaks, jumps right in. And here comes the suppression wall. That's actually going to hit Ren, but they're not going to be able to get the kill just yet. There goes Windine, there goes Ren. They have to go for the defuse. Will they be able to? This is getting really dicey right about now. But it looks like they might just be able to, right on the last buzzer. Ooh, that got close. That got uncomfortably close for the side of Zenith. But they pull off the site retake. And folks, Nonchalant's attack, despite how aggressive it was, how quickly they got the spike on the floor, they have been denied. And that's a Viper ult that they are down as well, which means Zenith, with the match point, they have potential advantage for the utility. We'll just have to wait and see how they use it. Actually, they don't, all things considered. Everyone just died. I keep forgetting it. Like I said, it's been a while, folks. Forgive me. I have not cast a Valorant so long. But
same here.
It is going to be 15 to 14. Once again, back to the situation of ones. And we see Zenith on the attack.
Yep. And Team Zenith, since they're the ones on match point, it's really interesting how Viper's playing very close I mean, he's still in the spawn. Not quite sure if that's a good idea because Nonchalant, they have just won the execute defense. My god. Just jumped in with the power of Shorty and my goodness.
Last player
It's a
standing.
2v4 situation already, and guess what? Bumbo is all the way back in spawn because he was waiting to at least capture 2 or 3 players, but trying to push in all the way towards mid, and looks like it's not gonna happen, folks, which means overtime, match point number 4.
Switching sides.
If I can just
Overtime.
take a look at my Spanish numbers, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I believe cuatro is the time of overtime match point, but yeah. OT number 4, folks. And once again, it's 15 to 15. Might take more than 20 or 30. Who never knows? We might see maybe a world record being broken here if we went all the way down to like 70 or 80. Who knows? It could happen.
Oh my goodness. That would definitely be a big game to commentate, folks. Right now we are on the 31st round of this matchup, as Mighty is going to get double peeked right there by Windine with the support, and that's going to be once again the ISO to go down. ISO really has just been taken off the board so quickly by Nonchalant in almost every round, or a lot of rounds, I would say. A majority of the engagements that ISO has taken, especially against Windine, just haven't really worked out. And for Zenith, that is going to be a future consideration if they do come back to Icebox with the same idea of a team lineup. For now, however, of course, they need to switch it up.
Yeah.
Well, they are 4 and 5, obviously, in terms of the man count. They're 1 down, but can they hold them off, the enemies, that is, for a little bit longer? 50 seconds on the clock. It's obviously ticking down bit by bit. And Nonchalant on the other side have decided, you know what, let's kind of spread out, let's reconfigure, and maybe, just maybe, they might want to push into B. That's exactly what we can see on the top left on the map right now. RMB with the operator pushing in deep. Gets in the B bomb site,
30 seconds
almost
left.
in position to see Bumbo, doesn't quite do so, zooms in and misses, but gets that shot anyway. And that's going to let Gambo get the plant off.
Spike
Zoid
planted.
coming in, but it's unfortunately a post-plant situation. Shots are fired once again. Double flashes from Reyna to peek the angle, but Zenith comes in. RMB to go down. Operator on the floor, but you have the alarm bot, you have the turret, you have the toxins. Nonchalant could potentially pull themselves into an overtime match point here. A 3-con bolt comes in, position is given away. Gambo gets one. That's Zoid, to go down. And it is all now up to these last 2 players. Zenith with 1, but immediately gets reclapped. And Aspire, now the last one standing. No longer. That is going to be 16 to 15. Nonchalant taking overtime match point once again.
Switching sides.
Match point is
Match
on,
point.
this time in the hands of Team Nonchalant. Total of 35 frags coming in from the initiator Zenichi. And from the side of Team Nonchalant, it's the Sentinel Windine with a total of 31 kills from his end. But the match not over yet, folks. Zenith can still recover this round, equalize it to a 16 to 16 scoreline, and we might end up see overtime number high 5. But we still need to wait and watch and see how this round would go, because Moga, wow, that's a very aggressive, a playstyle coming in from towards the A side, but immediately it's just there to just take out some of the utilities in which they will successfully do so. Fall back to safety. RMB, what was that? That was disgusting. That headshot definitely catches Zenith off guard, and much more chances for Nonchalant to get the opportunity that they need. Zoid is very close. He sees the gun barrel. He sees the gun barrel. He could just go in for a simple
Spike
wall
down
bang,
A.
in which he does eventually do it. But look at the man count here, Jack. It's 2v4. Nonchalant, they are very close right now. Nothing should go wrong unless and until if Nonchalant makes a single mistake, everything would go down in flames.
Zenith could still pull out a 2v4, mind you. It has happened, and it could happen again. There's 2 kills as Zoid gets 1, but Gambo immediately fires back. It's all up to Aspire, the last one standing. Dodges the shock dart, but gets taken down.
Defenders win.
Windine with the final kill. 17 and 15, folks. Let us recount the score with the instant replay one more time. 17 and 15. Huge game in the semifinals. Arguably one of the better games of Valorant I've seen in a long time as well, or at least I've had the pleasure to cast, so to speak. But every big match. Every good thing, of course, eventually does come to an end. And this match has ended as well with a 17-15. Huge score right there. 32 rounds of Valorant have been played in today's stream. And we do hope you enjoyed. As you can see the stats right there. Wine Dine on the Sentinel, really just going all in. Guns a-blazing. And Zenith, on the other hand, holding it together for the side of Zenith. It really was just a game of back and forth after that initial play, that initial lead that had been taken, which was, mind you, huge. It was 7-5 to Nonchalant going into the half. And then going into the second half, once again, Nonchalant won 3 rounds right at the end to deny the match point for Zenith. It was one round after the other. They were taking it one by one. And ultimately, they were able to, etch out a very memorable victory to become our second grand finalist for tomorrow. So, folks, remember, tomorrow will be the final match, the grand finals, a best of 3 maps, 2 teams, and 1 victor. Who will be the one to win? We'll find out tomorrow. But before we sign off for the night, Baba Gusta, any closing thoughts on this exhilarating match that we just saw?
Well, I just have to say, Jack, it's been a long time since I've heard your overtime, and my God, it just brought a lot of great memories, and also a really great matchup, though, coming in from all the 2 matches of the semifinals. I was really excited, especially with the overtimes. But yeah, all in all, it's ROG Academy versus Nonchalant in a best of 3 grand finals matchup. And I have to say, Valorant Clash of Champions, it will be an amazing night to remember for tomorrow, Jack. And I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Same here, Baba. But with that, folks, we will have to sign off, of course. Myself, Blackjack, and my co-host, Baba Gusta. And, of course, all of us here at Point Out, we're going to be signing off for the night. Remember to come back tomorrow. We are going to be streaming the grand finals in roughly the same time. Until then, like, subscribe, and follow us on the socials to make sure to keep up on all the Valorant Point Out Champions news. Until then, we'll be seeing you.
Y'all sit back and watch me speak. About to take over your screen. Talking bulls in 93. Talking mom, I'm on TV. Y'all know all I do is me. All I do is me. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and all I know, my money green. About to snap and make a scene. My cup off and make this free. My cup off and make them scream. Go back off for TMZ. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch me speak. Y'all sit back and watch. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Sit back and watch. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Sit back. Money long, nothing on credit. I got style, don't catch no feelings. All this bread ain't got no lettuce. I got style, don't catch no feelings. Watch me.